Hey guys, welcome back. How are you? I hope you are good and doing well. So, in the last lecture, we implemented the custom search form from scratch so that employer can filter out the job applications. Okay. Now, in this lecture, what we need to do that we need to do this functionality that add functionality for the employer to download the CSV of all job applications. Okay, or CSV or it could be spreadsheet. I mean the Excel format as well. Okay, so let's do that and we will do that in two different parts. Okay, first we will directly allow employees to download or export the CSV or Excel, and then we will see how we can do this or how we can achieve that thing using the active jobs. Okay, so first we need to do this without active jobs so that we can compare the performance difference. Okay, now let's first come to the show.html.erb of the company jobs page where we implemented the search form. Okay, and below the search form, what we need to do first, we need to add the links to download the CSV. Okay, so here what we need to do first that link to, okay, and then export as CSV. Okay, okay, and then company job path and paths at the job here. Okay, and then format is also required here, format as CSV. Okay, so whenever you click on this link, this will send a request to the show page of the company jobs controller with format CSV, I mean with .csv. Okay, and then add some button class and let's say ATN secondary. Okay, now if you go to the browser and refresh the page, you will see it like let's say, sorry, not this one, this one. So you will see a link here to export the CSV. Okay, and when you hover it, you can see into the bottom left that it is sending, it is forming the URL like localhost 3000 company jobs and jobs UID dot CSV. Okay, that means we are able to send our request as the CSV format. Okay, now what we need to do that we need to first implement a service class where we can uh, convert the job application data into the CSV. Okay, so first what we need to do that we need to create a service directory within the app directory here. Okay, so within the app directory, let's create a services. So new folder. Okay, and into the services create another directory so that we can designate this directory as a CSV export only. Okay, so whenever we export some data using the CSV format, then we will implement those classes here. Okay, now we need to create a class within this service class, so we can name our class as, let's say, export job application service. Okay, so here what you can do, create a new file and name it as export job applications service .rb. Okay, and now we need to implement that. Okay, so since we are exporting as the CSV, and CSV is a module that is by default available within the let's say Ruby, so we need to require CSV first, require CSV. Okay, and now we need to start implementing our class. So add class and then CSV and then the class name, which is export job applications service. Okay, and first we need to define a constructor method here. So how we can define the constructor in the Ruby, that is initialize. So def initialize. Okay, and then applied jobs. This is the data that we will pass from the controller action. Okay, and now we need to uh, instantiate this applied jobs. So at the rate applied jobs equal to applied jobs. Okay, now we need to create a method which is to generate CSV. Okay, so def generate CSV, sorry. Okay, and in this method what we need to do first, we need to use the CSV module. So CSV dot generate. Okay, and then we need to use headers true because we want to generate our CSV file using headers. Okay, so headers true. Okay, and then we need to insert the CSV header into this CSV object that we created here. Okay, so CSV and then header. Okay, and now we need to implement this CSV headers as the private method in this class. Okay, so and here what we need to do, that first we need to define the column names that we want to display here. For example, if you go to the browser, you can see that what we are defining it like applied by, or who the email of the user who has applied on it. So applicant name, applicant email, expected CTC, current CTC, able when he can join, and contact number and notice period and applied on. Okay, so let's do that. So here we can define an array, let's say ID, and then applicant name. Okay, and then applicant email, and then let's say contact number. Okay, and then current CTC, then it's expected CTC, and then when he can join, or let's say when able to join. When able to join, and other attribute is like, let's say it's serving notice period, so serving notice, and then applied at, I mean when he has applied on the date. Okay, now what we need to do here, that since we inserted the CSV header here, now we need to write some code to insert the rows into the CSV. I mean insert the data rows into the CSV. Okay, so since we are inserting all the applied jobs, or we are just iterating, sorry, we are creating CSV for all the applied jobs that we are passing here. So we need to iterate through all the rows or all the data of the applied jobs. Okay, so applied jobs dot each do, and then here what we can do, let's say applied job, end it, and now we need to insert the data row, and then CSV row, or CSV data row, whatever you can create. So let's say CSV row and then applied job. Okay, now we need to define this method as well. So here what we will do, let's define it. So CSV row, and then just implement this. So CSV row applied jobs, and here we need to define the array. Okay, and in this array what we need to do, write applied job dot id. Okay, and then for the applicant name what we will use, applied job dot job seeker dot name. And why job seeker? Because we have association of applied job with the job seeker. Okay, and user has two different roles, employer and job seeker, so we will only display the job seeker name here. Okay, so now applied job dot job seeker dot email, and then applied job dot contact number. Okay, and then applied job dot current CTC, applied job dot expected CTC. Okay, and then applied job dot, so this is the field name for the when able to join, so estimated joining within. Okay, I'm just copying it because might be some typo mistake there. Okay, so, and then applied job dot, and you can copy other field as well, that is serving notice period. Okay, and paste it here, and then applied job dot created at dot strf time, and then percent %y, percent %m, percent %d. Okay, so this is the data that we will insert into our CSV when it is get generated. Okay, so this is our service class, and let me explain that what we did here. So first we defined a class, and then we created a constructor method into it, which is the initialize here. Okay, and here what we are doing, we are instantiating the applied jobs collection, and then we created a generate CSV method, and this CSV method will generate the CSV for the data that we are initializing here. I mean all the applied job collection, okay, for a specific job. And then here you can see CSV dot generate header is true, so it is mentioning that we want to generate a CSV which must have the header. Okay, and then we are inserting the header into the CSV, and we define the CSV header here like this. So attribute name and so on. Even if you wish, you can directly insert this array here, but just for the clean code, I defined it into a separate method, and then I'm using it here. Okay, and then what we did after inserting the header, we are just inserting the data row into the CSV, which is CSV row applied job, and here we are creating an array of the data that we want to insert into the CSV. Okay, now what we need to do, that as the next thing, we need to call this action within the controller. Okay, sorry, I mean we need to invoke this CSV generation into the controller, which is the jobs controller here. And you can see that in the show action, what we need to do, that since we have the CSV format request as well now, so first we need to add respond to block, respond to do, and then format. Here what we can do, that let's say format.html, and do nothing here. Why? Because when request comes as the HTML, then we do not need to do anything. And then format.csv, and when it is the CSV, then we need to do something here. Okay, so here what we can do, let's say first get the CSV data. So CSV data equal to, we need to call this class which is CSV, and then export job application service. Okay, so just call this class here. Okay, and then we need to instantiate it first, and then applied jobs, we need to pass this collection, because we require this collection into the constructed method of the export job application service class. Okay, and then we need to call the generate CSV method. Okay, so that will generate the CSV data for all the applied jobs that we defined here. Okay, in I mean into the show action, and this applied jobs belong to a specific job data. And now what we need to do, that we need to create a method which is send data. Okay, and then what we are trying to send, so CSV data, and then we need to mention the file name. Okay, and then file name must be job applications. Okay, and then date.today.csv. Okay, so this is our file name. So let me tell you again that what we did. So in the first, we added a link to export as CSV. Okay, and then we added the format as CSV. Okay, and don't forget to do that, otherwise it will just reload the show template. Okay, and then here in the jobs controller, sorry, first we created a service directory into the app, and in the service directory we created a service class which is exporting the job applications as the CSV. Okay, so this is the implementation of that CSV export service class. Okay, and then in the jobs controller sorry, in the jobs controller we mentioned this respond to block to handle this data in the CSV format. Okay, so we are done here. Now at the last step, we need to make some changes into application.rb. So open the application.rb. Why application.rb? Because we created this services directory as the additional directory. Okay, so we need to eager load this path. So what will be our path? So app. Okay, so we want to load these service classes, otherwise you will get an error while using this. So to use this CSV export job application.new, what we need to do, that we need to include eager load that path within our application.rb. Okay, so here you can see config.eagerload path rails.root.join app services. Okay, and after saving this, you need to restart the server. So go to this race terminal, restart the server, and now let's go to the browser. Okay, and we will click on this link to export a CSV, so it will work. So when you click on export a CSV, you can see that the CSV file has been downloaded, and now if you go to this file and you click OK, you will see that this is the CSV data that we created, and you can see the header here like ID, applicant name, applicant email, contact number, current CTC, expected CTC, when able to join service, serving notice period, and so and the applied date. Okay, so this is the data that we can see here, but we can do one correction here, that you can see service notice is showing either true or false. Okay, so it is not too much human readable. Okay, because true or false representing the boolean value, so simply what we can return, we can either return yes or no. Okay, so let's go to our service class, that is export application services, and here what we can do, that if it is serving notice period, then we can display yes, else we can display no. Okay, now let's try to generate the CSV. So go to the browser and click on the export CSV. When you click on export CSV and open the new CSV file and click on OK, you will see we are sending yes and no as the service serving notice period. Okay, so here another typo I made, so let's fix that as well. So you can serving is serving notice. Okay, so this is how we can generate the CSV. Now in the next lecture, what we need to do, that we need to do almost similar work to export the applied jobs data as the Excel format. Okay, but that is not a default module available in the Ruby, so we need to use spreadsheet gem for that, so that we can generate the Excel file to get all, to export all the applied jobs data or all the job applications received on a individual job. Okay, and then we will move to make progress to implement to achieve the same functionality using active jobs. Okay, so that's all for that lecture. Try to follow this and generate the CSV for applied jobs, and we will meet into the next lecture for with exporting the data into the Excel format. Till then, tata, goodbye, take care, and stay safe.